Hey everybody, it's me, Kelly, of course. I'm trying to video a different way, so this is kind of going to be experimental in a sense, and we'll see if it's any better. I don't know. Let me lower this for a second, just bear with me. If I was professional, boy would I be dangerous. Okay, so I got and get and have gotten a lot of questions. I'm gonna leave this here so it stays focused because on white I go crazy, and then people message me, about it being clear and all, and I try. So I'm gonna hope it focuses on that. People have asked me a lot of questions because I say I use a lot of things like from around the house and things for like in your mixed media or your art journal. You can even use some things to make prints on clay if you're using different, paints or things like that once your clay is either baked or dried. I'm going to stick with on paper today because that's what I have here. But let's see where we can start because I like to show at-home things. So we're going to bring it down, try to even it up a little bit because it looks far away, but I don't know how it's going to come up on YouTube, so we shall see. Okay, so I just have my regular black ink here because that's what I'm just going to probably use for everything, just to give you guys an idea and show you some things and get black ink on me. All right, I'll leave the ink here. Okay, so first, one of the things I use is lids. Come on, clear up for my baby. This is a lid off of a body spray or something. It can be a lid off of anything. It's well used and loved. And what I do is put that over there. I will dip it in paint or an ink pad, whatever you have works great. And then you can go ahead and make in your mixed media different circles. So those great stencils that they sell that have the circles on them? You can kind of do your own kind of thing going on in your own patterns, just a couple or whatever, and you have a great thing there. You can also kind of use it as an owl body. You have your little circle and draw, like if you have a smaller one, do his little head. You can do a snowman, you can do whatever. Works great. So this is any kind of lid you have, any size. Imagine, you have this in a few sizes. You have all these great circles. Great mixed media. Next is another little circle. This came off of a Febreze, like one of the Febreze or Glade air freshener things that you plug in the wall. Again, this gives you a double kind of circle. So let me see. Let's get you on here. And when I lift it up, just going to get all the ink off of there. And you can do inside your circle if you want. I'm going to lift it up and show you. See how that does it? That has like a double. So that's pretty cool. So that's two different circles, two different lids of things that you've probably thrown away, as well as I know I have 20 million times. So I'm going to set that. I have a big basket full of things that I use. Okay. Also, these little, you can buy these at your arts or craft stores, and even your dollar stores have them. They're little, where you get thread and everything on, and I cannot think of spools. They're spools. So, dip it in your ink or paint. Let's see where we can see. And look how cool. And you get a look there too. I mean, great. And they sell these stencils everywhere. So you can make your own prints very easily. And I really hope this video comes out okay with me taping it this way. Punchinella. I love Punchinella. They come in all different sizes. You can buy them. I have stars. I'm going to do a giveaway on a little thing of Punchinella. But You know, if you have punchinella, if you don't have punchinella, something you can do, I'm going to set these over here, is if you have a hole punch. Now, you can go to the dollar store. I mean, well, I don't know if the dollar store sells them. Or you can go to the craft store. And you can get a hole punch. You can get an inch. I would use an inch. You can get half inch. You can get whatever size you want. Take a piece of cardboard or cardstock or plastic. If you have like a plastic divider, you know, they sell for the kids for school, and just make your own holes. And then you'll come out with something to the effect of this. And, you know, these are great. You can use sprays or paints with them as well. You know, whatever you want. Let me just give it a quick spray for you. And it's not a great paper I got going on, of course, you know. But I'll just leave that sit there. But you see, when you lift it up, you get this great. So you can definitely make that yourself with any punch. And my punches are way over there, so I can't even get them to you. Any punch that you can find. And you just do them in a random order, or if you're like very... and then look, you could turn it over and you get the opposite, and I'll hold this up in a minute. You can also use your ink pad if you want. And just to give it like a grungy look. And then I'll hold that up. I'm just going to press that down. I'll use this paper on something. Always turn it over. Now this paper is just sketch paper, so it's soaking in, you know, if we were using a mixed media or I gessoed it, but you're going to get the idea of what I'm talking about. So that's that. Here is the green sprayed through the holes. Here's the whole paper turned the other way, so you get both of this effect, which is great. Here's it in the black. And then here is where we put it through with the stamp pad, which can be anything. It could be distressed inks or the paint. It could be anything that you have, any ink pad that you have, or those ones that Ranger sells, that the dabbers. You know what I'm saying? These, a friend of mine, Robin, made these for me. I make these too in my Sizzix, and these are great for using as a stamp or with paint. And I grabbed a few extra papers here just so we can kind of... I know I'm going out of focus. Please don't message me about it. I know. I try. And these are great because you can use your inks, your stamps, your paints, whatever. It's craft foam, and you get these great stamps, which I'm thinking about doing a giveaway and making some of these for people who don't have stamps. And then, you know, you guys can play with your paints and your stamps and your whatever you have. I buy things like at the dollar store or whatever. This is just a big circle. It has a bee or whatever on it. And I might have gotten this as a random act of kindness and got a bunch in there. I don't know, but I use it because I'll use it if I'm doing a circle, or I'll use it to block something out, or I'll just use it to spray on and get these big, beautiful, big, beautiful circles. I'll just take my paper towel right now and just blot up the back of that, because I like to do my paper towel, and then I like to there's nothing on the front, but you see, and then you get this great circle. So it'll dry, you know, or you could pat it up whatever way you want. And then you're kind of like, you can journal in here, you could put something else in here, you can do whatever. So those are great to have too. I use this, which is a piece of fabric that's like, I don't even know what it would be called. I've cut it up so many times and sent pieces to people because people love it. Again, you can use your ink, your sprays, everything else in there. I would probably, let's see. You just want a light spray. You know, you want it to be as far away as you can. Lift it up and you get this grate. Then you can always push this down somewhere to get, you know, some of that paint off so you don't waste. I hate wasting. And you get a little design there, and I'll lift that up in a second. But all that is a big piece of lace. So you see what we got there? Spraying through that piece of fabric. So look at your fabrics differently too, lace and everything else. So that gives you two different things. If you get, if you have the Cricut or I have the Big Shot, and you can make your embossed, these are great to use very lightly with your paint or with a color. I just go over it very lightly. And then get your print. Now, I didn't go over it dark enough, but you can see the great ghosting of it. Let's see if I can lift it up. I feel like recording this way is really like shrinking my... It really looks cool. And it's a nice ghosting effect when you're doing, you know, your layers on your mixed media. I'm losing all train of thought here. Let's try this side. Just press it down like you would a stamp. Smear it like I just did. And of course, this is just cardstock, so you know it's going to soak some of it in. But at the end of the day, you get this really cool, without the light shining on it. Can you see? That's really cool looking. So that's something else you can do. And you use any kind of paper you have. That's just black cardstock. You can use whatever color you have. Really, it's not going to bother anything. I make, and I'm going to do a video on these, out of my fun foam. I make little stamps. And you can see. And I'm just going to ink these up. Let's see if I have any more. That goes for another video. I have so much stuff I want to show you. All right, then this is for that too. Okay, so you just kind of ink it up real lightly. You run it down. Use paint if you want. Turn it over. Press it real good. Lift it up. Look how cool. And I'll hold it up in a second. And then we're going to do this. And remember, I'm doing black so you guys can really see it. You use whatever color that coordinates with your painting. And it could be paint. It could be ink. I'm just happen to be using this. And look at that. That's out of fun foam. And I'm going to show how to make those in another video. There's great textured paper out there. If you can see this. You can buy them. A lot of these come in those packs that you buy a lot of the packs of. I use this a lot. Just going to put a little ink down there. Stick it down. Push it down. Just adds texture. I'm kind of not in a hurry, but I don't want to leave this to be a 20-minute, 30-minute video, which it probably will be anyway. But look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. Now, if you put that on top of a mixed media painting as one of your last layers in a bright color or whatever, you know, that's going to look great. So that's something else. These I buy, which is the same as the skull like I showed you in the other. It's just a flower. I use it as a, when I spray, and then when I'm done, I use it in the alternate and I turn it. These are great. You can find these in your arts and craft stores. Dollar stores have them, and they work fantastic. And they don't, I mean, this, I've used this a million times, and it's not falling apart. So those are great. All right, I'm going to show you how to do that. This is an embroidery that you do cross stitch and whatnot. It's the plastic that you use the stuff with, the plastic, you know, can't think of what it's called right now. You buy them in they come in big squares. So I cut mine down to pieces that are manageable for me. One of the things I do is I will run over it just with my whatever I'm using, my paint, my stencil, you know, if I'm going to use it as a paint with paint, or my whatever color I'm using. And this is great for journaling or just as extra texture. Look how great that looks. Or, I'll just get the black off. Or I take my spray, far away, and just give it a spray. I always leave my stuff sit for a second when I spray. You can see I have one here too. I cut it myself, so I'm going to have a giveaway of some of these things at some point. But you can see, I mean, you can use them. I use them for so many different things. And then just lift it up by the corner and then go push it somewhere else. And push it again for your black, if there's any black left, because I hate wasting. Your hands end up icky, but who cares? And then you have these great, look at that. And you could just layer upon layer upon layer on that. So that's awesome. Grab another piece of paper. What did I use on the paper? Okay. What else do I have? Because there's some things I want to... These came in a shipping thing for me. I'm like, casket, hello? But look how cool. These all came in a thing I got shipped to me from somewhere. And I saw them and I about peed myself. And I love using them. So the same thing. You stamp them up. Oh, or you drop everything on the floor and scare the crap out of your dog. Stamp it up. I would probably use paint on these ones. But depends on the look you're going for. You know, if you want a more clear look. And then you stamp, you just give it a push. And look how cool. And it's this great texture in there. I mean, who would have thought? So these come in, like I said, a million sizes. I usually use them with black. You know, you can get different, but the texture in them is fantastic. Oh God, they're flying everywhere like I'm playing football. Okay, so these are more things from home. Again, this is from another circle, and it's from a shaving cream top. Use the heck out of that, you could say. Here's my where I got those ones. You get 12 pieces in there, and you get all these different kind of little doodads. So they have like a big one, they have the one that I use, they have these smaller ones, and you get 2 or 3 of each, and you can use them. I use them as, you know, backgrounds with my mixed media. These are, let's put, yeah, here's the one. These are just a piece of paper I cut out of my Sizzix. Piece of plate paper. It's a, I don't know if it's a thing from, and here's another piece of the foam. I don't know if it's from my, I think it's I think it's like a steampunky thing. And this is the one, of course it sticks. But you get the point. I'm not going to sit and get all icky right now because I'm icky enough. Alright. And we'll lift him up. And look at that, how cool. And then you just turn it over. Give it a press. And you get the double. And all that was cut out of my Sizzix. Out of a piece of cardstock. Look how cool. And I only partly sprayed that one. I didn't spray it all the way around. I'm telling. I could sit here. It would take me hours to go through all my stuff here. I have a sponge brush where the sponge thing broke off. No harm. You can use paint or ink. And you do your dots. And there you go. And like I said, you can use paint. I would use something like kind of, let's see, this will make the difference. Well, that gives it a cool look. You know, something that when you, like, you can kind of have a little resistance, and I'm going to show you the difference. I just put a piece of foam underneath of it. You can use your mouse pad, but you can see the difference in the ones. Like these ones have, that I had the foam underneath, have much more of a different look than these ones. So that's something that you would be mad and say, oh my gosh, it broke. Well, look what fun. You just, you know, use it for things. I keep my little hangers, put them down, give them a spray, same thing. You're just getting shapes. I have a lot of lace and stuff. Let's see. This is, I made a bunch of these and sent them out to people where I made, and these again are little like paper things, like the round thing that I get in like scrapbook packages and stuff like that. And I use those for sprays. I make my own circles. I take a piece of cardstock if I really want to, you know, I cover it with the metal tape and then I use that. And I save the circles that I punch out to either, I can either tape them, because I could take the silver off and use that, or I can just throw these all over and then spray around, and then I get a look, you know, a different look from that. Trying to see. And I have some square ones that I've done the same way. So I can use this as a stencil, or I could take the backing off and just use this as a piece. And then you can use alcohol inks, whatever you want on here, on these. So those do too. So those are great ways to use things around the house. You can use masking tape if you don't have metal tape. As you can see here, I used some, this is acrylic paint with alcohol dripped in it. And it's like got like this rusty look to it on my metal tape. So really loving that. And that'll go on a piece. So I mean, just use your imagination. I have so many little things in here. You can see I did the same thing with this, playing around. Now I can just peel the back off and I have the metal tape and it can go on a painting. Again, you don't have metal tape, use masking tape. Use your clear package tape, whatever you have. It doesn't matter. Play. Also, empty tape things. Look how fun. This has so much stuff in it. It's not even funny. I use this all the time. And I'm going to see how much ink I can get on here to stamp to show you. This is an empty Scotch tape, masking tape. Stamp. I mean, look how cool. And you just get these really great big circles. How cool is that? I mean, something that you would throw away. Don't throw it away. I get these in, I forget what I got this, in my Cuisinart or something like that. And these, again, circles can be used to draw around, to get good sized circles, to spray over, to paint, you know, whatever you want to do, but you use them as a stencil. This one has a hole in the middle, so when you use it and you spray around it, you can put the spray in there and you get this really cool look. I made another with smaller on the fun foam, smaller circles than the other. Let's just see, so I can show you. Now we'll press it down. Lift it up. Move these out of the way. Oh, what a fun foam. This is from something in my husband's garage. Again, you put it down, you take your paint or your spray, you spray it. How much fun is that? Leave that sit there for a second. Bubble wrap, we all know there's small bubble wrap, large bubble wrap, all fantastic. I have tons of it. I save it like I'm going to die if I don't have it. I have a toothpaste cap for another circle, another size. Awesome. You can't go wrong. This is I got these on clearance. They're vinyl. And they're like masks that you paint, you lay down and you spray over. Those work. Now let's take this up. Look how cool that looks. I'll hold it up in a second. And then you can just turn this over. Press it down. Lift it up and you get double. Look. Look how cool that is. It's out of my husband's garage. I always go into like the washer. I can even go in my thing there and pull out more stuff. I'm not going to bore you much longer here with all my stuff. Corrugated cardboard. Come on. We all get packages. I want to try to find some things that real quick to show you. This is from soldering stuff out of my husband's garage. I use for circles too. It's just a plastic round thing. This is a piece of plastic that came in packaging. Great. Works great. Gives you great texture. I cut this out of a piece of plastic divider that was in a notebook. It's just a star. Works just as good. It gives me what I need. More lace. Spray through it. Comes out great. I'm not going to bore you. Just wait. String. You throw string down in a pattern, not in this big a blob. And you give a spray over. It gives a great texture. And, I have... This is ridiculous. I make things out of wire to put down, to spray over. I have... I take needles every week for my RA. So I get these little things here. So I get like two different, kind of looks. So I get that circle. And then on the other side is a smaller circle. So, and then this is a lid off of a glue. And that's a little circle. And it's great. And like I said, I can continue on and bore you, but these are just some ideas. This is off of a hair coloring cap. Don't know how that got in there because I don't color my hair. Now, one of the last things I'm going to show you, this is corrugated cardboard. We all get it. We all have it. Use your paint, use your ink, whatever you have. Real quick, I'm just going to stamp it up. Find a place where I can do it. And then you just put it down. You give it a good press. You can use paint. You can use your ink pads. You can use whatever you have. And you get that. Again, you can use that to journal on in your book, in your art journal, or to write a quote or whatever you want. Or you can just keep laying it down in different, directions just to get a cool look. And all that is corrugated cardboard. Two more quick things and then I'm done boring you. Something I love to do too. Now look, I showed this in another video. I got this in my baby doll that I bought from the dollar store. So I thought, I wonder if I put ink on the bottom of these teeth and then just kind of stamped. And I really love the way this looks. And I'm going to hold it up and show you. That goes in there. Because I love it. Because it gives you these little dots. And then here's the corrugated cardboard. And then over here, here's all the different things that we have. And then for the last, these are knitting things. You can buy these so cheap. They're like, you can get them at the craft store, dollar store, whatever. And I'm going to do these all at once. And then I take rubber bands. I take different sizes. I put them over because there's so many different kinds. And I just kind of do that. And then these I have several. And then I take my color, paint, if you make your own sprays or what have you. And I give it a spray, and I give it a spray. I just give it a second to, just to dry for a second. And then I lift them up, and you get great texture. And then you can always roll these over and push them, to get off the rest of that ink. So those go in my thing. And then watch. Then you can roll them over if you want. Or you can just stick them in your hand like I did and get the ink all over you. It doesn't matter. Very cheap and inexpensive. So those are some ways. I mean, look at the rubber bands, and you can go crazy and put a bunch down. And you get all these like organic shapes, and then these are the knitting things. So let me throw all my stuff back in here real quick. So think about stuff that you have at home that you can, that you don't have to go out and spend a fortune on. You can use, if you have caps to sodas or beer or whatever that you know what I mean, you could put this in your ink and stamp either side. You'll get a great gotta really get that in there. Come on now. This you need something underneath but you get this dotted. See the dotted? That's from the lid. Let me see if it'll do better under a cushion. Yeah, looks good. I like it. Or you could do the other side. It doesn't matter. So there are just a few things, and I could go on for hours, but these are just a few things that you could try at home with stuff that you have at home and not have to go out and spend a fortune on, buying stuff. I mean, things that you wouldn't even think. And it gives you the great texture. How fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun and a lot of, you don't have to spend a lot of money. This is all stuff you have at home that you're either recycling or throwing away. Take a piece of cardstock, take a piece of paper, printer paper, fold it, make a heart out of it, use it as a stencil. You might only get 2 or 3 passes out of it. If you have Mod Podge, white glue, before you use it, the paper that you cut out in the shape, cover it a couple times with the white school glue so it just gets a little bit more resistant. You get a few more times out of it. Who cares? The point is you're having fun. So I hope some of these work for you and that you guys try them. They're awesome. I know this video is way longer than I wanted to have it, and I could go on still even longer, but I'm not going to do that to you. And I hope you guys try this and have a blast because it is a lot of fun. So I hope you all have a great day and a great week, and I will see you in my next video. So thank you guys. Be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting.